Welcome back to another episode of Bearing It All with Rose and Chrystal. This is actually the second part to our chat with the beautiful Rosie Rees. We could not cap this episode, so we've split it into two parts. Enjoy.
Because you did just bring it up. Let's just touch base a little bit around the grief that you've recently gone through, because it's been a lot for you. You lost your mum recently, and funny enough, good old mummy's been connecting with Rose.
Not Rosie.
Rose. Yeah, that's right.
Plot twist.
I know. It has been.
Dear old mama.
Oh,
yeah.
See, now I'm trying to talk about it. So what people may not know about me, and maybe something that that's a lie. Like, I've always known in myself I've always had like a very strong intuition, is that sometimes I get a few messages through. And for some unknown reason, even before I knew your mum had actually passed publicly, I had this connection to Rosie. I'm actually Roseanne. My actual name is Roseanne.
And I'm Rosanna.
Yes. And so we were both also known as Roxy at one point in our lives. And it was actually, my brothers call me Roxy, close family, but I also at one stage of my life, I actually liked to be known as Roxy personally.
Me too.
And
it reminds me of a porn star.
Yeah, well,
it's our alter ego.
Yeah, it is a bit of my alter ego. She's a bit more wild and free, and when she just wants to have that. There are people that will listen to this that know me as Roxy and not as Rose at all.
I was Roxy in London when I was a hot mess.
See, and this is what's weird. So when I started getting messages from Rosie's mum, I thought they were talking to me. So like it was for me, but they called me Rosanna. And yeah, they were talking to me and I was getting Rosanna. I was like, but no one calls me Rosanna. Alive or dead, the only person that might have said it was Rosanna, was my nonno who's passed. And that, because it's actually not my name, and my mum and dad really didn't like when I was called Rosanna. So yeah, a post of Rosie's came up one day and you said that you were like Nana Rosanna. And when the post came up, I was like, ha, that's a funny meme. Like it. And then boom, the messages came in and I was like, this is not for me. This is for you. So we have known each other outside of this pod and events, and just not as like, close mates, but for some reason.
But I still feel a closeness with you. Like whenever I'd see you, and that's when I saw you, what was it, 4 months ago at Chrystal's event?
Yes.
And you avoided me like the plague, and you were getting progressively more drunk, and you were like shaky, and like, I'm like, why hasn't Rose come to say hi? And we haven't had a good chat tonight. Like, what's going on?
She had previously told me, like before the event, she was freaking the F out. She was like, do I say something? Do I not say something? What if I make her upset? Like, she's like, was freaking out over it. And I was like, oh, you're going to have to decide, feel the room, like, because I think at that point too, you were still like quite upset over it. And
it's only been 6 months as well. So it's still,
it's fresh.
It happened July last year. So what's that, 7 months or so at the moment.
So
this time.
How are you feeling at the moment? Honestly,
I feel really good, and I feel kind of bad saying that. I felt Mum come through quite strongly this morning on the way here, but I feel as though I have felt every emotion there is to feel, and I didn't hold back for 4 months or so after Mum died. I cried, yelled, screamed, mourned, like wailed, anywhere, anytime. I didn't hold anything in ever. Didn't care where the fuck I was. I just let it out. And I think that's why I'm so okay right now. I don't feel like I'm like, masking it or like squashing it or suppressing it. I also know that my mum is so at peace. She is so happy where she is, and I almost feel a bit separate to myself as I say this, because I miss her. I want her back, and it was her choice to go. And I don't agree with that choice, but at the same time, I've been forced to respect that, and that's what she wanted. And I think actually that's how she was going to go. the writing was on the wall for many years, and that was her way out. And she struggled with mental demons her entire life.
Okay.
So I feel really like I feel so fine. And there were moments where I felt relief, and I don't think anyone really talks about that either. The relief of like, she's not in any pain anymore, you know, and she's in a better place. And I actually communicate with her a fuck lot. Like we used to talk every day, which Rose had a message this morning about talking every day, and we did. And so for me, like, and it's still really tricky. Like I keep going to call her and just reach out, and like, I really miss her because we were best friends. Like she was my bestie.
Did she have a voicemail?
No.
Oh.
And
I've recorded my dad's like voicemail. So sometimes when I feel like I want to call, I will just listen to the voicemail
I wish there was. Yeah. But I found some old voicemails
from her
that I've been able to keep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hearing
No,
their
they're so
voice
nice.
is so lovely.
Because I feel like
Videos as well.
You're not going to forget just yet because it's still quite fresh. But for me, sometimes I forget what his voice sounded like. So it's like just that reminder of like listening to something.
Yeah.
But it is funny because on the way here this morning, Rose called me and was like, I'm getting all these messages, and she's like, I'm not sure if it's for you or if it's for Rosie. And she was like telling me all the things. Then when Rosie came in and sat down, they were all for Rosie.
Yeah, I didn't know because
Of course they were.
Of course they were. Like it's a weird connection. Like I said, I don't know why, but I think there is because she wants to talk to you whenever she's got the opportunity, like she used to. There has been a lot of things that I've learned along the way. So this morning, I mean, I can't believe I'm sharing this. I didn't even know if we were going to talk about this. So, thank you. The chest, I get a real tightness in my chest, in my throat. I feel like I can't breathe when she comes through at first. It's really, really uncomfortable. I think it's clear like that your mum did take her own life. So was that something that were you actually shocked?
You were, weren't you?
I was actually really shocked because she was so happy. I only saw her like the day before. Was it? Yeah, 2 days before.
Oh.
And it's so funny because I actually dropped into her house twice that week.
Yeah.
And had a cup of tea
Yeah.
with her, and she seemed fine. She seemed happier than usual, actually. And I think that when people make a decision that they're going to go, there's this contentment in them that's what they've decided. And so I had no warning at all. And we'd just got married like a month or two before. So, but in saying that, I remember attempts from when I was 12 all through my adolescence. That's why I went to boarding school. I couldn't live with mum. Like we had a very close connection, but it wasn't she wasn't in a good place.
Yep.
But being a single mum, she just needed to work, and like she didn't have the opportunity to stop and get the help that she really needed. And so when this happened, it was, I think she'd felt as though Rosie has Ash. She's married now. Everyone's safe. Everyone's good. Everyone has a family. I can go now.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot.
And I think it's taken a bit for me to understand this, but I think once they've made that kind of decision, no matter how much you try to talk them out of it, even if you were aware, doesn't really change. Like I spoke with the medium after Dad's and they were like, if you changed his mind that day, he was going to do it a different day. So it's just becoming like, I guess, accepting of that, like that you actually cannot change what they've decided their fate to be.
It wasn't a matter of
And it's like getting over that, because I don't know if you blamed yourself at all, but I did go through that thing of like I felt guilty that I didn't see the signs or that I wasn't aware, or for a long time held that guilt.
I feel guilty that because I was mum's emotional support. Like I've been not her therapist, or like she hated when I coached her, but like if she was upset or she needed help, it was me. I was her emotional, just her rock. And I feel guilty, and I'm working through the feelings of guilt that I wasn't able to pick this up and I wasn't there for her. But you know what? She started pushing me away, pushing everyone away actually months beforehand. So there was lots of little alarm bells and signs actually when you look back. But the guilt of not realizing sooner it was going to happen. And this is where I have to just remember, like, it wasn't a matter of when, it was if it was when it was going to happen. It just
That's right.
yeah.
I think we all get that feeling. But I think the good thing to know is that, like, she, you know, loved you so much, and all of the things that come through from Rose's end is that she just wants to be close to you still.
Yeah, it's actually really, really, really beautiful. Like I said to you, it's something that I don't fully understand myself, and I never claim to. And I just jotted it down because I was like, I don't know what this means, and I'm not a professional medium. I don't do this as like a
profession.
living, and I'm learning as I go because I've just let it in, I suppose. I've allowed myself just to feel more. I told myself that last year, that I was going to let myself feel more, and I just really didn't understand what that meant. But it's obviously a whole body experience. But going back to that night that I did see you and I was avoiding you like the plague and I was getting drunk, is I actually don't need a lot. I'm not a big drinker actually at all. But I love having a booze. But I started drinking because I got nervous, and I started just downing tequila because I love tequila, and I was like, I just couldn't talk to you because I knew if I spoke to you that I was going to get overwhelmed. Your mum was very pushy.
She is so persistent. Oh my God.
Determined. And I felt like I was going nuts. I was like, this isn't real, Rose. Just push it aside. You're just making this. I actually thought I was just making it up. I was like, your mind's just running away with these things.
The proof was in your body, because as soon as you told me and you gave me all these messages and a hug, like a mummy hug, you said your whole nervous system was like a big exhale, like, I can release now. I can sleep tonight.
I didn't even know you were coming to this event. And so I've had these messages, and then the day of or the day before, she just was bombarding me all the way home on the freeway. And Chrystal said, oh my God, you know Rosie and Ash are coming tonight. And I was like, oh fuck.
Oh no.
I was stressed. And then that took me to a next level stress. I told Craig, and Craig's like, what the hell?
I thought you were being a bit weird. Like,
What's going on with Rose?
Yeah.
So yes, I did. I tequilaed up, and I thought now or never. She's about to leave, and I just cornered Rosie, and I said, "Hey, this is what's happening to me." And you were just, as you are in life with everything, with your pussy, everything. You were just so open to receiving, and I was like, "Oh, thank God."
I just was so excited to hear from her. Like, I'm like, of course I want to know get a message from my mum. Like,
but she is so determined, so pushy, and she was just like, if you don't tell her this, I'm going to make you in some. I felt like she was going to embody me or something. I was like, oh. But yeah, it was a hell release. And even this morning, I get like a tightness in my chest and everything, and I'm like, I hate there. She just knows, like, Rosie and I cross paths a lot, I assume. And she's like, I'm just going to make sure I say hello.
Just popping in.
So, yeah, we just had a lot about tea and talking every day, trying, loss, decluttering.
Literally everything that Rose has said this morning is literally something that I'm going through or I'm doing or I'm feeling or I have, like, everything. It's bang on.
We're just
accurate.
Keeping it brief, and then I got boots. But yeah, also about decluttering. And I'll say this to you, but I think actually now it's a very important message for people that are listening, is that letting go of stuff in your home, in your space, it's also healthy for your mind. Not just of like a loved one's things, but your own, because it takes up space in your home, but it does take up space in your mind as
energetically.
Yes.
Everything has a vibration, and I think, like, I took my mum's treadmill home. I actually took like this. I couldn't throw anything away, and because I just thought it was her in a way. But having had some time and space, and the treadmill, I remember I walked on the treadmill once and I didn't like it. And then I realized, she would get on the treadmill a lot, and she was kind of very internal and what's the word when people just can't leave the house kind of thing. Like it wasn't a good energy. When I got on it, I realised I don't want this energy. This is not mum. This was a way of her coping, was walking. She used to walk like 10 kilometres a day. And it helped her mentally, but at the same time, it wasn't like it was an addiction almost.
Maybe there was a lot of her pain on that treadmill.
There was a lot of pain on that treadmill. And you know where it's gone? So I have this guy called Jimmy who picks up lots of our boxes and rubbish and like just does so much like removal of stuff for me in the business and for me personally. Anyway, he took it home because he has 6 cats and he's going to walk his cats on there.
Can we get a video of that?
Oh my God, Jimmy.
I don't know, my mum would be stoked with that. Like, great.
Amazing.
I'm stoked that the cats are going for little walks.
I feel like I need to see this on Instagram.
Oh my God, cat videos are the best.
How funny. But a lot of her furniture has gone to people that I know and I love, or Worthy Australia, women coming out of domestic violence. She was in a domestic violent relationship years and years and years ago. And I just know, like I know that her stuff is going to places it needs to be, but there's still some stuff that I'm probably hanging on to that I can get rid of.
Yeah. And you will when the time feels right. Yeah. But I laughed because when we had Ash on the pod, I remember Rose being like, Rosie's mum has this like smell, and it's like almost like an op shop. And Ash was like, well, she worked in an op shop.
Yes, she was a volunteer.
She worked in an op shop, and we were just like,
I was like,
mind blown.
Okay, I was trying to
like I was winding down the windows. I was like, op shop smell, like
it's outrageous. Like she's worked at an op shop for 5 years volunteering at a hospital.
And we all know what op shop smell like, right? You walk in and it's the op shop smell.
And it kind of smells like this bit of mothball. I was winding down the windows in my car thinking, what's in my car? And I was like blasting and I was like, how is it still here? I put the windows back. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, because
she was sitting next to you in the car.
Yeah, it's wild. It's amazing what you can feel when you like actually get in tune.
Really tune in.
Yeah.
My mum was not a spiritual woman at all. But I feel like she's discovered she's spirit now, I guess. But she realizes now, doesn't she, that she's so strong. Her presence, like I've had multiple, probably 10 or more moments of connection with her spirit, like palpable
at home
connection anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, like a sign for me is a white feather, and I'll literally, but only if I walk literally over the top of a white feather, or it like really comes right onto my path. But more than that, like just so many, I can't even think of them right now. But
yeah,
I remember one day you were like went for a walk or a jog or something, and this bird wouldn't leave you alone.
So birds, she said she was going to come back as a what are those little cute birds?
Willie wagtail?
Yeah, Willie wagtail. And so I've connected with a few of them, but birds have come to me. And so I was on this like walk in nature, and this bird flew down and like landed on my best friend Erin, but Erin's terrified of birds. So I took the bird and just placed it on my shoulder because it looked like there was a bird attacking us, but it was just like this domestic, almost like a budgie that was obviously in the wild, and it just sat on my shoulder for like a half an hour as I walked around this lake.
I remember seeing that video and being like, that's Rosie's mum.
But it was and I just put mum's, this is so weird, her earrings in my ear, and it was pecking the earrings.
Oh, see?
Yeah, and it was her necklace too, so it was like pecking the earrings. And I know birds do that.
Yeah.
But it was like pecking both.
And it was crazy that you just put those on.
I just put those on that day, and it was just feeling like there was mum right on my shoulder.
I believe in all those things though.
I do too. Well, I have to now because there's just
it's coming to you.
To me, it's just undeniable.
It's found you.
Yeah, it's
whether you like it or not. But you can shut it out.
Yes,
but if you're blessed enough to, like, I think it's such a blessing to be able to connect with the afterlife or the sort of another realm, because it's just like mum, she's just there. Like we can't see her or the loved ones, your dad, like they're just there in energy, and we just get to like call them in. Like
a friend described to me, she's like, imagine you're sitting back to back with somebody on a chair. She's like, that's what it's like.
Oh.
They're on the other side back to back with you.
That's powerful.
So I always think of like dad like that. Like whenever
someone
I'm
said
thinking
to me
of
it was
things.
like a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
That's how
Fine
thin
it
the
is.
veil is.
Yeah.
And just because we can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. They're there all the time.
But definitely, I think it's nice in whatever way you visualize your family member that they're with you, because I feel like you never want to kind of lose that.
Yeah.
As long as you can keep that, it's like you're keeping their spirit alive too, sort of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the memory always lasts and lives in you. It's not just a memory, it's who we are. We are them. We are part of them. They are a part of us. It's not gone. Like,
And I think we need to honour them and commemorate the dead with having an altar for them, even if it's a really simplistic one, but with a candle, doing little things, setting like the table at Christmas time with a setting for them. My mum had a disco ball in her patio, so now we have random disco balls on the Christmas tree, and like, you know, still giving their memory, still bringing them into your day just like they are here. And even though I'm really upbeat and fine right now, like I still have days
Of course.
where I am not okay and I just fucking want my mum back and I don't want to do this without her and it was too soon, and you know, I go down that rabbit hole of grief all over again. But I think from me expressing my fucking emotions, I honestly think if people don't express their grief, it will come and fuck you up. You will hold that in your body.
This is what we're seeing now a lot with my family. So I went through it in hell, like how you explained. Wailed, cried, punched, kicked, all of those emotions. Still now do it.
yep.
Quite a few family members of mine went into like denial almost, like this didn't happen, it's not real, ignored any kind of emotion that they were feeling, and now it's like
It will always come
now
back.
it's eating them so badly, and I'm like, I told you guys, like you needed to let that out. Like
This was me. This is with me with trauma. So I was taught to bury it, to sweep it, put it in a box, put it away, never talk about it again. I'm very happy, upbeat, positive, half glass full person through it all, actually. Even I can always see a positive rather than negative. It actually is who I am. But let me tell you, I swear to God, like having Esme, even having Octavia, who's my third child, it brought it back up to the surface. Everything I hadn't dealt with in my past, the trauma, the things that I thought I had gotten over, which I absolutely had never unpacked and absolutely had never gotten over, came back with a vengeance. And I didn't realize how many parts of my life it actually affected. Yeah. Like you were saying, how we got onto this subject in the first place, like you didn't want to have sex, like you weren't in that space. Like it came up in sex, it came up in my everyday practices, it came up in how I looked after or how I didn't look after myself and how I go numb. So to block it, if it's something to do with me, I generally don't feel. I disassociate.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's someone else, I have all the emotions for them, all the feelings. So it is really important the way that you guys have expressed it. Like it's actually really inspiring to listen to, because it's powerful. Grief is powerful, obviously, but listening to you guys, like letting it out and being okay with not being okay. It's actually
I've done a lot
healing.
of work on like self-development and even all my tantra workshops and trainings I did years ago. It's from that, honestly, because you're taught to express your emotion, which is energy in motion, through breath, sound, movement and touch. And just through loud breathing, loud sound, like making any authentic sounds, touching yourself. Like I would just hug myself and shudder and shake and like rock and like just doing all the things that like a wounded animal, like you, how would your grief express itself physically through your body? Because your body gives you messages and clues, and like often, we numb out and we shut down. We don't allow ourselves to feel because so many different reasons. But, you know, when we give ourselves permission to just fully go there, not caring like what anyone else thinks of us. Like I was at, you know, a sports game and I'd just cry. There's no shame in that. And I go to fight, you know, rather than freeze. I'm a fighter. So like, I think maybe that's the same as you, Chrystal. I'm not sure, but like getting it out in some way. And it might not be yelling and screaming for you. It could be, you know, heavy breathing, crying even, like, you know, underneath tears is anger and underneath anger is tears. It's like we got to go through it all.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally like 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Rose called me and I was just in hysterics, but I needed to just for 2 days, I just literally cried and screamed and just felt all the feels, the feels, because I knew that if I didn't let all that out, I was going to not be in a good place. Like, and the relief I felt, sorry, I did concern you a bit. I fully concerned Rose of how I was, but I knew that if I didn't let that happen and if I had bottled that up, I knew I would not be in a very good place.
Yes, you did scare me, you mole.
Well done.
Well, but
letting it out.
Yeah, but
and it was
really
vulnerable for me also because after Dad's death, I have pushed a lot of my friendships away, whether I felt that they were good or not for me. I've pushed a lot of people away, and I have felt closer to Rose since his death, and I just was like, I need to just, even though it was probably triggering for her, I just exploded.
I called you a mole, and I still stand by that. But because it's scary to be the person listening to your someone in pain or someone that is not okay mentally at the time. But fuck, it's important to do. Don't ever feel like you're a burden and that you can't do these things, because I think I don't know why I keep saying it ends with us today.
Yeah, it does.
This is the third time I've probably said it. But
we get to close the cycle.
We get to stop this cycle, guys. Like, if we speak honestly and truthfully when we need to throughout our whole lives, whether it be about sex, whether it be about grief, whether it be about having a really fucking bad day mentally or physically or just being tired, then we stop internalizing it, which is not good for our bodies. It's not good for our soul. So we can stop that cycle and normalize having these hard conversations so people no longer feel uncomfortable. So I think as well, I know for me, the reason I don't speak sometimes is because I don't want to burden someone with my problems. And that's not healthy.
No.
After the death, this sounds really weird, but I just wanted to talk about it. Like, most people go the other way and just don't want to talk about it and isolate and pull away. I just wanted to be online and talk about it. And I probably pulled more away now, and I'm doing my own inner work now. But at the time, I just wanted to get on Instagram and talk about it. I needed to talk about it. And that's just who I am. I'm more of like.
Yeah. But do you know how normal you made me feel?
Oh,
I think
like, I watched your videos and I was like, fuck, I'm normal. Like, I was watching you go through it and I was like, I felt relief that you were feeling the same pain that I felt. And I was like, this is so like good to see.
But it was also beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Because not everyone can talk about it, but because you have the ability and that's a strength of yours, it's actually so relieving for people that can't.
Yeah.
You did something beautiful there.
I don't know, like my mum used to listen and watch my stories every day. And so I feel like it was almost through her, like, but I felt some shame. I felt like I shouldn't be online. I shouldn't talk about this. I shouldn't I'm so vulnerable right now. Like, I shouldn't be doing this. And people around me were like, you should just go within and, you know, but that's not what I wanted to do. And I'm really glad I didn't, because I had so many messages, like, and I still do, like, people asking me for grief support because of the way I've handled it. But yeah, for me, it was I needed to show up and be like, this is real. This is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because I've been real with my audience for 10 years about everything else. So why would it didn't feel authentic for me to pull away. Like, I just wanted to talk about it.
And it was you. Like, it was the authentic you. Like, even though you were showing such a dark, like, time that you were in, there was something about it that was just so, I can't explain it, but like, I don't know what it was, but when I literally cried watching so many of your stories, because I was like, I just knew exactly how you were feeling. Like,
so many people don't let themselves fully feel the grief.
No.
And it confused me. I was like, but why? It's just a human emotion. Like, we're here to feel the whole spectrum, not just happiness and joy.
That's like a major part of your life. Like, you just don't go, oh, they're gone, bye.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
No.
Because we've been taught that, like you were saying.
Yeah.
We've been taught there's a right way and there's a wrong way to feel grief, and there's shame around it.
Tell you what, my dad's been gone 2 years now, and I'll continue to talk about him every day. He's got a little shrine in my lounge room with his big fat head in a photo frame.
So does my mum.
He would love it. I look at his photo and I'm always like, Dad, with his little urn there, which
Mine too.
I've been told that he wants to be released into the ocean, and I'm like, you fucker are staying in my lounge room for a bit longer.
now.
I'm not ready to let you go in the ocean.
Not yet.
Maybe that was the ocean thing last week too.
What did I do? I don't know.
The psychic said about the ocean.
Told you the ocean. feels
Yeah.
good.
But we need to talk about people who've passed.
Yes.
Like we're not just going to get over it. And this is the thing, like people would message me and be like, oh my God, so much like unsolicited advice for the past 6 months. But I'm very kind and I'm like, thank you. And a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't get any easier. I disagree. I honestly disagree. It doesn't get easier. You just
Learn to live with it.
You learn to live with it. You gather these new tools to cope with the grief. So I think it actually does. The grief gets smaller, and then you're able to hold capacity. You have more capacity to hold that grief. At the start, you don't have capacity. You don't have the tools. You've never gone through this before, most likely. But when people would be like, it doesn't get any easier, why would you tell someone that? Actually, in my experience, if you fully express and release your grief, it will get lighter. I'm not going to say it's going to get like easier, but it gets lighter. And if you build a connection with their spirit, with their soul, like the person who you love who's passed is just dying to connect with you. And even if you don't believe it, like,
Do you know what though? This is the thing, and I'm sure you feel this too. People see you and they're like, oh, she seems okay. You go in waves. Like one day I'm fine, the next day I'm in the pits of hell. Like, and that is normal. Like it is going to be okay one day, and the next day and only 24 hours later I'm going to be, and people are like,
in 2 business days I'll be on the floor.
there you go.
Because I'm getting premenstrual, and I know like I'm okay today.
Yes.
But just an FYI,
And
if I
that
go
is
offline,
normal.
I'm going within,
Yes.
and I'm still
and that's the thing
grieving.
with grief. Like
What's normal?
forever
Anyway.
you can feel like that. You don't have to be over it in a year or 2 years or 5 years. Like you miss that person, you're going to go through waves,
Yeah.
and that is normal.
I think everything is normal. The human experience is normal in general.
I've just realised that we have chatted for a very long time.
Look, if you're still here with us, like honestly, this is just who we are. We can't do those freaking 30-minute podcasts.
No.
We try.
try
It's just
so
not
much.
us.
It's
It's
not
just not
us.
you. It's
But
not.
I feel like our listeners want to hear the deets.
I know. We love chatting with you, and I know we've gone from sexual wellness and understanding the parts of our vagina into grief and the loss of your beautiful mum, and having psychic bloody medium moments and all sorts of crazy.
so much in this podcast.
There is
So
a lot
much.
that we just thought we'd roll with it, you know.
I feel like we
someone's
need to get you on with your like vagina puppet though, because I need to understand a little bit more.
I love the vagina. Does the vagina puppet have a name?
Veronica,
Veronica.
Valerie, I think.
Yeah, I
one of
like that
those.
she'd have
Valerie
a name.
the vulva.
Yes.
But
Okay.
just get a
Vulva
mirror and look at your pussies tonight if you can. And anyone who's listening who's still here, get a mirror, a little handheld mirror.
Yep.
And just take a little look. Ideally for 3, put a song on. 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Look at her, witness her, look at all the little layers, the flaps, the colours, all the little holes and the imperfections and the hairs and the marks. Yeah, all of it.
Oh, I love it. That is your homework tonight from Rosie to
to
look
know
at
it.
it. But
Get
that's,
intimate with your vagina.
start understanding your own body. I think I'm getting the message here and then you can properly enjoy sex and enjoy self-pleasure.
When you know your body, like knowledge is power. So you feel more empowered in what you need, what you like, what you don't like, and then being able to voice, like a whole other topic is connecting pussy to your voice. Because that's a long, from voice to head is a short distance and we can speak our mind pretty quick. Voice to heart, a little bit longer, but voice to pussy is like
Quite a length.
It's a length,
It is.
right? It's a long distance, and connecting the two, being able to speak what your pussy needs. Your pussy is relying on you to tell the people who you're with, whoever, what she needs, wants, fears, and desires. Like she needs you to communicate for her.
We actually had
Love that.
some quick little.
Oh,
this is something we can't
fast
skip.
five.
Like, too bad if this goes for 2
No,
hours.
it is what it is. We're here already. We're already at an hour and a half, so we might as well.
We're getting down to it. What is your favorite sex toy and why?
Sacred squirter,
Oh,
because it makes me squirt.
Sacred squirter.
That's her right
I
there.
need to order one because I feel like that's really small.
You need the 2.0.
Is there a 2.0?
There's a bigger one.
That looks really small to me.
But she's so beautiful.
Pretty.
I've got to forget.
What is your food porn? What is that food that's just like,
Like the food that gets you off. If there was a food,
Okay, so I love moist puddings with ice cream.
like a chocolate pudding?
Like a
that melts?
self-saucing chocolate pudding or a sticky date pudding with like ice cream on the side, maybe some custard, maybe some cream.
And it's oozy.
And oozy. I like hot with cold. Like I really like
Yeah.
temperature play in my salads, in my meals, in my desserts.
Yummy.
It's got to have some hot and some cold.
What's your food porn?
gluten. I love, there's bloody fucking pastry sitting in front of me. Oh, there is something about bread. Like a hot, crusty sourdough, freshly baked bread with butter.
And none of this gluten-free shit.
No,
We're
no,
talking
We're
full
talking
wheat.
We're talking
gluten-free.
full wheat, like beautiful. So the bread is like slightly warm, and then you put the butter on thick, bitches, thick. So you put it on and
salty.
you bite it. Yeah,
A
salted
bit of
butter.
salt on top.
Oh my God, see what
It's
I
like
mean?
when you're at a fancy restaurant and they bring the bread.
The
And
bread,
it's warm.
there's just something that it does something to me. It even does something to me everywhere. Like I'm getting a whole body sensations, just like I'm getting
I just want
drooly.
bread.
Some bread, butter, and just the freshness of it and the smell. Baked goods, croissants. Yeah, that's. How about yours?
I like mashed potato with truffle oil.
Oh, you fancy like you've
Smooth and creamy and truffly. Bit of chili on it.
got potatoes. Get me off.
Potatoes.
Actually, fucking anything with potatoes.
Actually,
Anything
Ash
white.
quite likes a potato.
Bread
We discussed
and
this.
potatoes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Speaking of Ash, something that Ash does that immediately turns you on. It doesn't have to be sexual. It could be whatever it is that she does that you're like, I want you.
Okay, two things. Well, like a simple one they can do anytime is just a look. They have this look that they give me where it's like, it's almost like they're a fuckboy. And like
You're like, she's bad.
in
like,
a
it's
boy
bad-
band,
Yeah.
and they just give me this like, they just like flick their hair back and they just like look at me and like raise their eyebrows and just have, it's like they know what look to give me, and I'm just like, my knees like melt, seriously.
Oh, they know. They know what they're doing then.
Or seeing them on stage doing jungle body is instant turn on because they're just so coordinated and
From
sexy.
day one.
You
though.
love that
Yeah.
about them.
I just love dancers. I can't dance. Like I'm not a dancer at all, but I can appreciate a good
A dancer.
Yeah.
Someone that's coordinated. Actually, yeah.
So sexy.
Being coordinated.
I mean, she's like hip
Rose,
thrusting and like,
I
oh
don't
my
know
God.
that you're coordinated.
I'm not coordinated. No, I said it's not, but watching someone that is coordinated, it is hot.
It's so
Yes.
hot.
Like Craig's very coordinated. He was a gymnast.
Whoa.
I know.
I did not know this about Craig.
Craig is a very muscular guy, but because of that, that's why he didn't progress in gymnastics as a teen. But he was very, very good at it. So when
Craig.
I have a stepson. So when we used to go out to parks every single fortnight that we had, even since I was 20, and Craig would be able to like, he knows his own body. Like he knows how to roll. Like he'll fall off something and he'll do a little barrel roll, or he'll flip. Like he was able to like run and like
Do a flip.
in the middle of nowhere, or like go in between the bars and like perfectly maneuver. And I was like,
That's hot.
oh shit. I was like, my God. It's
You
just a
can
turn
gym
on.
on me all the time.
I know it's ridiculous.
Or when they have a drill in their hand.
Oh.
That's another thing.
I think that's Craig for like when he watches me with a drill. I'm the
Or you dressed
the
in
handy
the
woman.
painting sperm suit. That does it for me.
I know it does it for you.
I see
She
on
messages
stories
me straight
and I'm
away.
like, oh, she's got the sperm suit on. She
wears.
wears like this full outfit. She's covered in this white outfit. You cannot see an inch
a
of her
sperm
skin
suit.
beside her face.
I look like a sperm.
It's so that she doesn't get paint on herself. And she wears this outfit, and I swear to God, it is like the most hilarious thing ever.
Okay, I need to see this.
It's good.
So unsexy, but for some reason
It is so good.
It turns him on.
Yeah, he kind of like it's the giggles.
It's the painting, and then he's like, Rose, and you turn around and just your face is showing.
It's just a little sperm head that comes out, and I'm like, and I act like a sperm. I'm like,
We got a few more questions.
okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, your pet hate.
What's my pet hate? I would say just
Say it.
um
Say it.
I don't have ADHD. I'm very neurotypical. Ashley is not. And so there are some like Ash can just go into this tunnel vision world and work and like nothing. They can't see anything else in the house. I see mess and I see shit, and Ash can just tune it out. Like, good for them. But yeah, that pisses me off because if I'm working
That's
from
us.
home, I'm also doing a load of washing and I'm also sweeping the floor and I'm doing the dishes, and like Ash can just go and zone out, and I'm like, ugh, hate that.
We relate.
I'm very much not neurotypical. So can relate with Ash. Oh, do I have the last one? Or
You do.
Oh, I've got the sexual position of choice.
69.
I said this before you walked in here. We were like discussing the questions, and I said that it was 69.
How
I was
did you
right.
know? Maybe
think-
you're a bit psychic.
No, you told on a story once.
Oh, did I? Yeah. Okay.
We were,
69.
there was a discussion about, I think you and Ash were chatting about favourite positions, and it was 69. I was like,
Yours?
I like cowgirl,
I knew you were going to say that.
Just when you're on top, yeah.
but backwards.
Oh, reverse.
Oh, reverse cow.
Yeah,
Okay.
reverse. Backwards. Like to get the booty in the face.
Yes. Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, no.
It's actually like beneficial for me that way.
Yeah.
you
You
know,
can
you-
do the grindy grind. Yeah.
Yeah. And hold the legs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like
from
you're
the
riding
back.
it.
Yeah. Now I'm getting a full visual of Chrystal in the bedroom with her 4 dogs on the bed.
But that way my dogs can't lick my toes either.
Oh, no. Dogs need to be in their bed.
Sorry.
We talked about this last time. A dog or two have licked my toes
Oh,
during.
it's so
Sorry.
annoying.
See?
Oh.
It's happened.
Turn off.
Harry just needs, he turns around. He's actually quite respectful. He
I
just
like
like,
that. He's respectful.
oh, he does a big huff and he's like, oh, this again. And then just turns around.
Dogs know, mate. They know. I don't like
My
having
dogs look for any leftovers. That's so bad.
Oh, so does mine. Harry has a good sniff. He's
Yes.
like, what's this?
On the bed.
Yeah,
Get
It's like,
a splash
go
blanket.
away. I need one.
You do.
I've said
for
this
the
for
love
months.
of God.
Do because that's the cleanup.
I need
You
one for
don't
my
need-
couch. I saw a friend of ours
Yes,
got one for
put it
her
on the couch.
couch. I was like, damn, that's a good idea.
Absolutely, babe.
I believe it.
Especially because my little dog, she's going on heat. I need to get her done, and she's just like doing little wheeze everywhere, and she's decided my couch is just like a spot to do a
Oh,
wee.
yeah, the splash blanket
Zeke's
there.
on heat right
That
now
would
and she's
be-
bleeding, so she has a splash blanket
Oh, yeah.
on her because and then I can just chuck it in the wash because I don't know if I want to have baby sausages yet.
Yeah.
I'm leaving her the option. I feel
Good.
like she'll be a good mother.
You need the
Yes.
moon blood, free
Yeah.
bleeding blanket.
Yeah, it's what it has to be on the couch because she gets on the couch and Craig's like, can help. Can't we get her a nappy? And I was like, let her be.
Let her free bleed.
Let her bleed on the splashy. But yes.
So we've had so much fun on here. We've gone
amazing.
through it all. We've talked about the puss. We have some grief.
Yes.
We did not eat the pastries yet, but we will. And we just think that you're such a delight to have, Rosie.
I love you guys.
We love you.
I was so excited to chat to you today.
Us too. I mean, I knew this conversation was going to go from, north to south, but
Well, it's both spectrum. It's like sex is the top end of the spectrum
Yeah.
of like joy and happiness and pleasure, and then grief is right at the fucking bottom. Like, yeah.
But it
Opposite ends.
all is intertwined. Our bodies hold the keys to everything. Our bodies and our minds I love talking bodies. I love talking about getting deep. I love getting deep. Okay.
With a
With
glass
everything.
crystal.
Or honestly, where can we find you online?
So my socials is rosie.rees, REES, and I'm usually shadow banned, so you have to type the whole thing.
Yes, guys. We will put her full name in the show notes. She also has a Golden Yoni membership. So if you want to know more about your bodies, sexual wellness, pleasure.
Use the code pleasure actually for a free month. So you
Wow.
can jump on in. It's on Teachable. It's 14 modules of content, so there's a lot in there to go through, but you can just go at your own pace, and then it's $40 a month after that.
Yeah. So this will be a good start for you. So if you did listen to the whole podcast, you got the code, okay?
They're the fangirls who've got to the end. If you have got to the end, come and message us. Let us know.
Legit.
If you have any questions for Rosie or ourselves, be sure to send us a DM or pop us a message somewhere. We will definitely get back to you when we can. But in all, I think thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you and your time. I hope you know that. And always take care of yourselves.
And take care of each other.
Bye, bitches.
Bye.
Bye.